MrBeast actively lied to millions of people in regards to his response to the damning allegations involving Ava Chris Tyson's consumption of lewd content and inappropriate content around minors. In his response, he claimed that he only just knew about Chris's degenerative behavior, but this couldn't be further from the truth.
Meaning essentially, MrBeast lied in his response, saying that he just became aware of Chris's actions in the past few days, when in reality, he knew all along.
Just as of recently, 500,000 Discord logs regarding MrBeast and Chris Tyson's old Discord server have officially been released to the public, and it shows that not only was MrBeast a high rank in this server, but also himself engaged in inappropriate discussions around minors along with Chris Tyson. And for any MrBeast defenders that want to try and drastically belittle the situation, let me just share some of the wondrous conversations and media that this server contained, that MrBeast himself was associated with up until he decided to leave 3 years later in 2020. Now, Chris Tyson admits himself that he believes the average age of users who operated this server were about 14 years of age. More logs even show other users who admitted that they were underage too. Nathan, who is someone who was entrusted with a high rank in this server and were part of the staff team, even self-reports stating that he took nudes of himself when he was a minor, therefore admitting that he committed a crime. Yet right after these messages as well, talking about users in this server discussed sharing nudes with one another in private DMs. So whether you like it or not, you have to admit that this server was essentially facilitating the discourse of and the facilitation of this disgusting behavior. Also keep in mind that Chris Tyson had a NSFW channel which was part of this server that people with specific ranks could access. That meant that literally any minors he had as staff could literally access and view this channel and see all the degenerate content that was posted in it. Chat logs also show how there was no verification needed, and Chris Tyson couldn't give less of a shit about it being accessed by minors in this server because quote unquote he isn't the kid's parents and the internet is full of porn anyway, so who cares that they're viewing a little bit of lolly. Keep in mind, Chris Tyson was a legal adult as well throughout all of this. He was at least in his early 20s to mid 20s when the server died. More screenshots also show how apparently Chris Tyson sent nudes of himself in that channel, as well as openly posting feet pictures of himself in it, which is disgusting as well considering how minors were viewing this. Even worse was that members in this server started discussing Chris Tyson's PP size, and MrBeast, who was a legal adult at the time, decided to join in this inappropriate discourse and started to vouch that Chris Tyson the pedophile had a big penis. And keep in mind, MrBeast was 19 years old at the time of stating this. He was a literal legal adult, so I don't want to hear any of these excuses that he was a dumb teen, because at 19 you're legally culpable for your own actions, and he was fully aware of the consequences as well. And the conversation continues by people stating how they would Chris Tyson's dick right after MrBeast stated this, and these people could have well been minors, and MrBeast literally did nothing about it. I also want everyone to process how this proves that MrBeast was complicit in the degeneracy that this server had, and prove that Jimmy knew the inappropriate behavior that Chris Tyson had towards members of the server that he literally admitted on his own volition were most likely minors. There is absolutely no excuse for either of them, and it's even worse for Jimmy because he lied in his public statement, claiming that he just knew and was just made aware of Chris Tyson's actions, because he can literally be seen here actively engaging in degenerate conversations in this server many years ago. So this meant that MrBeast essentially kept all of this silent until he was actively called out himself, and he only ever made a response because this was all hurting his PR and his brand. If he had any sense of a moral fucking compass, he would have called out Chris Tyson for this years ago, but he didn't. He kept this under wraps for as long as possible. Chris Tyson can also be seen speaking about lollies, and the NSFW channel can even be seen having what seems to be content posted to it, with a user who had access to this server being called Cookies, who was a 16-year-old minor at the time and saw this content. Chris Tyson can also be seen fawning over a 14-year-old who we can presume to be Bad Baby, as well as MrBeast linking Bad Baby's account too. I wonder why you did this. Chris Tyson even linked Shadman's website, which was known to be full of content, and even more screenshots came out of MrBeast having the poster that Chris Tyson bought right behind him in certain videos he took.
I just don't want to do it. And also, Chris, my roommate, moved out, so that doesn't really help either.
And this also proves how Chris Tyson was yet again a massive fan of Shadman, who's quite literally a person who drew CSAM content and is most likely a file. Even more screenshots show how Chris Tyson, who was in his 20s, asked Nathan, being a self-admitted minor at the time, to create and manage an NSFW channel for him in this server. He even had this minor as well added on Snapchat. Now we're gonna have a lot of MrBeast shills attempt to claim that this wasn't MrBeast who was present in this server, but let me just state this. MrBeast left the server 3 years after it was created, and years after all the degeneracy took place in it. He renamed the account which was present in this server, and most likely purged a lot of his old messages and DMs in it, as well as left it, because optically, he looked back at his involvement in all of this, and realized how ultimately detrimental this could all be for his career. However, this does not justify the fact that he lied to millions about him not knowing about Chris Tyson's degeneracy, when it was crystal clear he did all along. Now there is screenshot proof of MrBeast being high ranked in this server, but something I want to draw your attention to is how on the bot logs of this Discord server, IDs were present showing MrBeast having these set of numbers being attributed to his Discord ID. As you can see, the Discord ID of MrBeast's account in this server now currently matches with the account Jack and the Goats, but as you can see, it literally states here that it was formerly known as MrBeast. This account still also as well links to MrBeast's channel and the MrBeast gaming channel. And there is undeniable video proof as well, which I'm going to show, proving that MrBeast owned the account called Jack and the Goat. He only renamed it to try and hide his culpability in all of this. So once again, when I show you this video, you literally cannot deny that this was MrBeast all along. Even an old admin of this Discord server vouched that it was MrBeast. So not only did MrBeast lie to millions of his fans about his disgusting pedophile friend, but he also tried to hide his own involvement in the situation, despite the fact that a few logs showed that as an adult he's still engaged in disgusting f***ing discourse about his pedophile friend's size, with potential minors being present in this degenerate Discord server, as by his close friend's own admission as well. So anyone attempting to defend MrBeast in this situation is only lying to themselves, and I'm not afraid to call this behavior out with the platform I have either. I only ask everyone to like and subscribe and help this video to be viewed to as many people as possible, and obviously this video is not intended for cyberbullying, hate or harassment or anything like that. This is just an informative and educational video going over the entire subject and drama as a whole. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Make sure to join my Discord server, discord.gg/Paolo, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.